Yeah, I mean, if you had asked me before the entire draft started last night if the Hornets would take both of these picks consecutively early in the second round, 33 and 34, I would have said no way. Usually those are, chips to use in trades. But the Hornets made that big trade last night, sending Mark Williams to Phoenix, getting the 29th pick, picking Liam McNeely, and then a future first in 2029. So that combined with that open roster spot, combined with the fact that Charlotte, that this draft in the second round had these experienced kind of potential NBA role players at the top of the second round, I think was very enticing and hard to pass up using both of those picks. And Jeff Peterson, the president of basketball ops, last night when asked, said, yeah, we've got the roster space for 2 more players. So I think with Sion James, our co-host Jeremy Grandison sat here last night and was like pounding the table for Sion James. He's somebody that brings a lot of toughness, a lot of defensive intensity. He's 22 years old. And I think what we've seen with these 4 picks, guys, is that Jeff Peterson and the Hornets have a type. They have picked 4 guys from big-time winning college basketball programs that have had a lot of success, so guys who really want to win and know how to work to win, and guys that are very competitive and well-rounded in their game. I think you can check all the boxes for all 4 of the draft picks, but Sion James is somebody that could carve out a role for himself for a very long time in the NBA. Maybe he's not an all-star at any point, but could be a part of playoff teams, and certainly the Hornets hope that it's here. And then you trade a center, you get one with the 34th pick, and Ryan Kalkbrenner from Creighton. One interesting note about Kalkbrenner playing for Creighton, they had battles against Liam McNeely and UConn, and they were very testy. So I'll be really interested in the first conversations there. But Kalkbrenner has a lot of potential in the pick-and-roll game. He's working on the defense. He can step out and hit three-pointers. Mark Williams, who they just traded to Phoenix, I think there was some frustration there, not just with the health and sometimes lack thereof, but also handful of years into the league, he hadn't really developed that three-point shot. So Kalkbrenner comes in with it. And, there's a level of maturity with all these players, whether they're 19 like they were last night or whether they're 22 and 23 like they are tonight.
So you kind of alluded to this, and I did want to ask because, obviously we talk about the talent and the stats sometimes with these players, but I almost feel like you alluded to when you started talking about the pedigrees and what they've been through and what they've accomplished already.
They've been coached hard.
It's almost like a culture shift.
Yes, it is absolutely a culture shift, one that I think new Hornets ownership and new front office management wants to put in place. And that doesn't mean that the guys on the current roster are all bad culture guys and don't have that mentality, but they need to add more of those types of players to help promote it along. Like, I think Brandon Miller is that type of player, and we thought so when they drafted him. I think Grant Williams, who they brought in, and unfortunately I think we saw the fruits of his absence last year when he wasn't with the team. So yes, it's absolutely a type like these blue-collar, lunch-pail dudes who just want to win, and they are willing to take on any role on their team at any given time. Start with Kon Knueppel. He's kind of Robin to Cooper Flagg's Batman until Batman goes down in the ACC tournament. Mm-hmm. Kon shoulders the load the rest of the way. He can do a lot of different things. Liam McNeely had to play a lot of point guard for UConn last year. That affected his shooting stats and probably affected his draft position to where he was available at 29. Sion James is somebody that literally he's not going to show up in the box score with eye-popping stats every night for Duke, but you look through the box sheet, and if you know what to look for, he's doing a lot of different jobs at the same time. And Ryan Kalkbrenner, wants to get it done on offense and has a bit of a defensive game to him as well.
So I'm going to go off just a bit on a tangent. It was only because Jeb and I were talking about this just moments before you came in. So with the Liam McNeely situation, is that not finalized? And this is just me as just a casual basketball watcher.
I know where you're talking about the hats.
The hats and
the logo, the fact that it says he's a Phoenix Sun.
And it's just not finalized?
It is not finalized yet. The NFL does it completely the opposite way. When the Falcons traded up to go select James Pierce from Charlotte in the first round, he's got a Falcons hat on. I mean, he's got he's at his own draft party, so he can wear whatever hat he wants.
Yeah.
But they would have given him one there too. There's a lot of frustration, even on the NBA's broadcasts and their partners, like, why do we have to do this? This is backwards. I find it comical, and it also creates like generational memes. Unfortunately, a couple of those have gone against the Hornets, where you see Oklahoma City Thunder MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's forever in a Hornets hat on that draft night. So, and there's lots of examples of that. It is very confusing, though. Even in here last night on the stream, after the Hornets made their pick, and we're breaking that down, and I'm kind of looking, I thought Duke's Kamen Malawach actually did get drafted by Houston for like 10 minutes, and then he was, or maybe it was a while before he got traded. I literally have no idea, but he went up there as a Rocket. So it's confusing. I just think it's kind of funny.
Well, and I think kind of adding to the, if we'll call it humor of the situation, the fact that it was Mark Williams that was sent to the Phoenix Suns. So it was like,
yeah, it is.
Is there a physical that's going to
Well, yeah. I mean, if Mark Williams, if and when he passes his physical with the Phoenix Suns, I think we should call it a modern medical miracle and have it studied for years, right? I mean, I don't know how that works, but I guess we're over that now. And the Phoenix Suns have a knack for trading for Charlotte Hornets centers. They have Plumlee, they have Williams, and they have Nick Richards. So, I made the joke at the beginning of this round that they were trying to draft one because they just like him so much for some reason. But hey, I think the Charlotte Hornets will take that.
Yeah. So what comes next here? Because today we saw that you had flagged us on some new video that came in of the new draftees arriving.
So
they're already here in Charlotte.
They make a quick trip, and both of these guys were in the green room in Brooklyn talking about Knueppel and McNeely. So they flew down here probably late morning, early afternoon. Obviously a private flight and private runway, private hangar, but there was a little Hornets party for them. So they got a chance to, get off the plane, get off the tarmac, right into the hangar, and meet some special fans there. Hugo the Hornet there as well, and they actually addressed these fans a little bit and told them how excited they were. And then a couple of hours after that, at about 2 o'clock, I was over at a church over in the Myers Park area where a Hornets official kids camp, basketball camp was happening. And much to the kids' surprise, guess who walked in but the newest Hornets, Kon Knueppel and Liam McNeely. So it was really, really neat to watch that. A couple of the kids, like I could see they saw Kon in the corner and were like, wait a minute. And then they saw the cameras come in and a couple of them caught on.
We got the video of that too.
The best part of this visit here was they opened it up to questions from the kids.
Oh, amazing.
And the old saying is the kids say the darndest things. Well, I think in this day and age of social media, kids ask the boldest things.
The best questions.
I remember being at kids camps and we would always ask like the Patriots players, how much do you make $1 million? Yeah. So there's a little bit of that, but some of these kids were asking like, what are you going to do if you get injured? And did you want the Hornets to draft you? And would you rather play with LeBron or LaMelo? And Kon and Liam said LaMelo, of course, and that they want to dunk on LeBron and they want to beat Cooper Flagg. They're not, they're his friend, but they want to beat him. So there were some funny moments there, and they took part in some drills with the kids. They had a lot of fun. So and they will be introduced. All of the draft picks, which appears to be 4 at this point. I don't think they can fit. I don't think there's space unless they trade somebody for a pick. But I think they're sticking with these guys for all the reasons I outlined. They're all going to be introduced tomorrow in South Bend. We'll be there. We'll have one-on-ones with each and every one of them to let our audience get to know them a little better.
Yeah, I mean, this is really neat. When I think of the bigger picture too, we talked about this kind of culture shift that's happening. And I mean, this is unrelated, but I just kind of look in the bigger picture, all the renovations that they're doing right now at Spectrum Center. I just feel like there does seem to be a big investment into the fan experience overall, winning games, hopefully, and also enjoying, the environment that you're in as well.
Yeah, the relatively new now, and we can still call them that, co-owners, Gabe Plotkin and Rick Schnall have said from the beginning, and some people watching and listening might know what I'm about to say, they want this to be the premier franchise in the NBA. I mean, it's going to take a lot of steps to get to that point, considering where they are now. But part of that is 2 straight summers of renovations at Spectrum Center to make the front-facing and back-facing, back of the house part of the facility up to par. And they're building a brand new practice facility, offices, retail, right across Caldwell Street there,
Yeah.
in that old gravel parking lot too. So that's just a part of it. This is the on-court part of it. And they've tabbed Jeff Peterson, who's still in his mid-30s, as the guy. You'll notice when the draft picks come in, it's not GM and coach, it's not GM and scout, it's Jeff Peterson. It's his show, and he's clearly putting his stamp on this organization with this draft.
Do you think he's going to speak tonight at all?
He is going to
Okay.
speak, yep. So we
Okay.
will have sound from both of the picks tonight, and we
Yeah.
will have sound from Jeff Peterson tonight. I'd love them to do that now, because last night, it was funny, when they split the draft into 2 nights, I was like, well, surely they'll be, night 1 will be earlier. It was not. I think Jeff Peterson spoke, and Danielle Stein and our photojournalist Tony Gutowski were down there, and I think he spoke well after midnight last night. So
I remember it
hoping
was-
for an earlier night, and we'll get you guys some of those elements too.
Yeah. I mean, I remember doing the 11 o'clock news last night with you.
Oh
You
yeah,
were
we
like-
found out about Liam McNeely's pick right
Right.
at the end of sports,
And that was late.
Yeah, so that you're talking right before 11:30 in an 8 o'clock draft. So Liam McNeely had to wait probably a longer time than he had imagined to hear his name. But I'll just like totally like insight from being around these two guys today. I'm sure Kon is fired up, but he's very understated. Liam is so excited. You can tell he was like having a blast. He is thrilled. So I'm really, and their families were there. Everybody just seemed so excited to be in Charlotte, be part of the Hornets, and be part of what was going on today. But I thought Liam was having the best time.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's NBA or otherwise, I always feel like, for me personally, I mean, other than hearing from, the players, I love to hear from the families. That's like one of
Yeah.
the things that gets me choked up when you
Yep.
see, mom or dad or whoever that important figure was in that person's life, tearing up, knowing how much time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears went into getting to this one moment. Ugh.
We should invite the Knueppel family in, but we're going to need more chairs and a lot more microphones
I
because of
saw
all the
that.
brothers. And dad comes from a big family, and everybody's named K something.
Yeah.
They're a fascinating family, but what they're all about is basketball, and I think that is part of the equation besides the skill on the court as to why they drafted him, is he is all ball.
Yeah. I mean, watching last night, all the brothers lined up, almost like, did they do it by height?
Well, they
too?
called
It was
the
like-
dad and his brothers the Flying Knueppels or something when they
Yeah.
won some basketball tournament. So, and you can tell Kon's the eldest because, he kind of keeps them humble and grounded. Somebody said, "Are they all going to be in the NBA?" He said, "They got a lot of work to do." So,
There you go.
big bro is looking out for them, but making sure they stay on their P's and Q's.
Well, he knows best.
Yep.
All right, Nick, anything you want to leave us with before we wrap things
Well,
up?
yeah, I mean, we're going to hear from these guys soon, so I'm happy
Yeah.
to jump back in and shove you guys some of that sound. I think these are going to be 2 fascinating guys to hear from. And then Jeff Peterson, overall wanting to know just about big picture what the through line is between these 4 players.
Yeah.
They're not all the same player, but they have a lot of the same characteristics.
Yeah, very interesting. All right,
Yep.
Nick, thank you so
You
much.
got it.
I know